I was floating in a warm, cozy zone halfway between sleep and wakefulness. Images of the erotic dream I'd had kept popping into my head. I felt vulgar about dreaming about Todd, my young, handsome co-worker. I'm a married woman, a happily married woman. Slowly, I became aware of new sounds that were invading my sweet memories, forcing me to leave them behind. What was that noise? My brain was trying to separate reality from the dream world. Damn it. I don't want to wake up. Why can't I sleep some more and relive my erotic dream once more? That damn noise? What the hell was that? My eyes flew open and everything came over me again. I whipped my head to the side. Oh my God! No! 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 Please God, it was a dream. A dream. Todd was sound asleep. His handsome young face was serene and he was snoring softly, completely oblivious to my panic. I sat up and looked around the room. It only took a few seconds to recognize my hotel room. The empty bottle of wine and 2 glasses were still on the small table under the mirror. Our clothes were scattered around the room as if they had been picked up by a whirlwind. I lifted the sheet and slid off the bed. Searching for my robe, I went to the bathroom where I was naked. I turned on the light and looked in the mirror. Guilt overwhelmed me as I looked at my pathetic reflection. Makeup smeared, hair in disarray, bloodshot eyes, it was the face of a shameful cheater. I burst into tears, turning away from the horrible woman in the mirror. I cried for a few minutes before I felt a light touch on my shoulder. I turned around and saw Todd's handsome face, riddled with concern. He put his arm around me and I cried even harder. Hey, it's okay, Aaron. It's okay, he said, stroking me. No, it's not okay. How could I have been so stupid? I mean, I'm married. God, what have I done? He patted my shoulder once more and hugged me tighter. Look, we just got carried away. It wasn't planned. It just happened. We can get past this. We just need a plan. How I cheated. How am I going to get back together with David? It's over. I've ruined my marriage. All our hopes and dreams are gone forever. Aaron! He shook me. You have to pull yourself together. I looked at his angry face and then hung my head and sobbed into his chest. Look, you talked to David last night after dinner, right? He knew we were together like we always are. He knew we got the contract and were going to go to the bar for a celebratory drink. Check your phone, you didn't miss any calls? Still snorting, I went and got my phone. No calls. Okay, it's 70. Text him good morning and remind him what time the plane lands. Yeah, okay, I usually do that. I texted my husband and within 30 seconds he replied. David. Okay, babe, I'll be there. Congratulations again. Love you. Aaron, thank you. I love you too. David. See, no need to panic. Everything will be fine. I sank down on the bed. God, I hope so. I don't know what I would do if I lost him. Todd stepped toward me and pulled me to him. My head rested against his bare chest. He stroked me a few times and then leaned down and kissed the top of my head. Don't worry. He'll never know. It will be our secret. I swear I won't tell anyone. I could never do anything like that to you, Aaron. I snorted a few more times and nodded my head in response. Todd ran his hand through my hair and pulled my head against his body. After a few seconds, he chuckled softly. I looked up at him. Smirking, he said, We're already guilty. There's no reason why we can't spend one last time together. I pushed him away. Are you out of your fucking mind? Shouted. I stood up. This, I said, pointing at the ruins of my bed, this isn't happening anymore. He backed away, raising his hands. I'm sorry. I was just trying to make a joke. Of course you were trying to, I said, looking at him. You need to get dressed and get out of here. I turned on my heels and walked into the bathroom and locked the door. I took a shower and spent a long time making sure there wasn't the slightest trace of Todd on my body. Once dressed, I examined myself in the mirror, looking for any marks that I might have to explain. Todd and I drove to the airport together and sat next to each other on the plane. We talked about the contract and the bonus it would bring each of us. After my outburst in the room, Todd was smart enough not to mention our connection. In fact, we never spoke of it again. 20 years later, David and I were cleaning up the last remnants of the mess after our son Martin's graduation party. In a few weeks, he would be leaving for college and we would be empty chicks. I gathered the last of the dishes into the dishwasher and turned it on. When I stood up, David put his arms around me and kissed me hard. "I love you, baby. I look forward to spending lots of alone time with you when we leave the house alone." I smiled at him and squeezed him tightly. "I'll hold you to that. In fact, Marty won't be home for a while. Come with me." I led him upstairs to our bedroom. After that, my loving husband fell fast asleep. As I lay in bed, my thoughts returned to the events of 20 years ago that had nearly destroyed my marriage. I held my breath, feeling guilt overwhelm me. It hurt, but not like the day David had picked me up at the airport. I tried to act normal, but I couldn't. Everything was not normal. I had ruined normalcy. I tried my best to face my husband. When we got home, David carried my bag to our room and I sat at the kitchen table. When he came back downstairs, he sat down across from me. "Okay, something's not right. You just signed a huge contract, and you're acting like our dog died. So tell me what happened." I started to cry. I fought it. But the tears were coming. And soon I was sobbing. David pulled a chair over to mine and comforted me as best he could. "I'm so sorry, but it wasn't planned. It just happened," I mumbled between sobs. David pulled away from me. "What happened? What are you saying, Aaron?" I sobbed harder. After dinner, we went to a bar and had a few drinks. Todd asked for a bottle of wine, but I was already tipsy, so I told him I was going back to my room. He said he would walk me to my room and brought the wine with him. When we got to my room, he asked if I wanted a nightcap. I should have said no. I should have sent him away. But I was pumped up from our big win, and a nightcap seemed like a good option. I let him in, and we started toasting each other. The next thing I knew, the bottle was empty, and we were kissing. I was drunk, but I realized what I was doing. The kissing became intense, and we fell into bed. The next morning, I was horrified at what I had done. I was crying and almost hysterical. Todd calmed me down and promised me he wouldn't tell anyone about it. Technically, I was his boss. And if he told HR, I'd be fired, but that was secondary. What bothered me most was what I'd done to us, to our marriage. I was scared to death. I even thought about not telling you. "You slept with Todd? I'm so sorry, baby. I swear it will never happen again. Please, baby, I'm so sorry." "Oh my God, Aaron. How could you do something like that? I know you were drunk, but do you think he drugged you?" "No, baby. I was drunk, but I remember everything, and it will haunt me forever. We both just lost control. It was stupid. I'm so sorry." "Is this the first time? You know, the first time you and him? The first and only time. Just the one time, and then we both passed out. Oh, God. I'm so sorry." David leaned back in his chair. "Jesus, Aaron. I can't believe you cheated on me. We were talking about starting a family." Aaron slid off the chair and knelt down, resting her head on David's lap. She groaned loudly, wrapping her arms around his legs. "No, God, no. Please don't give up on us. I want to have your children. I want us to be a family. I want us to be together forever. Please, David, I'm begging you. Please." David stroked her head and then slowly stood up. "I need to think about this. I think you should go to your mom's." He took his keys and walked out the door. I was devastated. The love of my life had just left me, and it was completely my own fault. I called my mom and told her I was coming over. I packed my bag and carried it to the car. "Oh my God, Aaron, you didn't do this! How could you let that Todd guy take advantage of you?" No, Mom, it wasn't like that. It wasn't his fault any more than it was mine. It was my own fault. Lord, will he forgive you? He must forgive you. It was one stupid mistake. He can't divorce you because of one stupid mistake. I don't know, Mom. I cheated, and he has every right to be angry with me. All I can do is beg him to give me a second chance. He will, baby. He loves you. He'll give you another chance. God, I hope so. I'm not sure I can do what I'm begging him to do. Would you be able to, Mom? Would you take Daddy back if he cheated? Both women looked at each other and then cried, hugging each other. It was 5 days before David called and asked Erin to come home to talk. She was glad for his call, but worried about what he would say. She sat at the kitchen table again, trembling with fear, tears streaming down her face. Erin, I've thought about this a lot. I talked to Dad, and he told me to search my heart for forgiveness. But there isn't any. Not yet. I still love you, but it's going to take us a long time to get past this. Anything. I'll do anything you want. I'm sorry. Please give me a second chance. David held up his hand. I believe this is the only time, and you are truly sorry for what you've done. But it's going to be hard for me to trust you again. If I can't bring myself to trust you again, we won't be able to stay married. Those words just shattered my soul. I sobbed uncontrollably. Erin, you screwed up, and you know you screwed up. You probably could have kept it from me, but you chose to admit your betrayal as soon as you got home. That decision to be honest with me about what you did brought you a tiny modicum of trust. I hope we can build on that tiny bit of trust. His words slowly reached me, and my heart soared. Does that mean you'll give me another chance? David opened his arms, and I rushed to him. He wrapped his arms around me, and I sobbed with joy. I kissed his face. Thank you, baby. I swear I'll never do anything to make you not trust me. I love you with all my heart. The next 18 months were hard. I did everything I could to make David happy with me. At work, Todd decided it would be best if he moved to another job, and I think Dave was happy to know that he had moved to another state. Even though he gave me permission to stop taking birth control, I was still nervous when I told David I was pregnant. I was afraid he might think I was pregnant to trap him in our marriage, but he was so happy about it that I realized my fears were unfounded. Our son is now 18 years old and will be heading off to college soon. Although I am sad that we didn't have more children, I look forward to my husband being able to spend as much time alone as he can handle.